Hello, this is the long overdue conclusion to my overview of the leader follower spectrum. As a reminder, this is the spectrum and the four waypoints across the axes of performance and self-organization. So we have the supervisor commands laborers, coordinator delegates agents, steward empowers professionals, and the catalyst inspires co-leaders. And in this discussion, we're going to talk about what can you as a manager do to help your people walk up this spectrum to higher levels of performance and self-organization. This is a kind of a practical discussion. And if you might recall, the lead, follow, act, react cycles mean that if you're wanting to be a steward and behave as a steward, as a manager, and the people you lead, which might be other managers, because some managers are managers of managers. If you're wanting to behave as a steward, but the people you lead are waiting to be told what to do for whatever reason, then you need to take actions to both meet them where they are so that work gets done, but also try to lead them and pull them upward on this spectrum to get to better levels of performance and self-organization. So I'm going to try to be practical here and talk about those things that allow you to pull the people you manage up the spectrum and get better results together. So the steward and the catalyst, those top two waypoints, these are the things that a steward leader or a catalyst leader will do if they find that the people they lead are not at the professional, what I call professionals or co-leader level. The most interesting thing, or the least intervention that you can do, let's call it that. The least intervention that you can do as a leader is to create space. And some people don't understand what that means, and I get it. It's hard to understand what that means. But what it is that you create an area of safety, a system of working that allows for expansive power for the people you're leading. You create a way for them to be safe and to exercise power and experiment and go do things on their own, of their own volition, with, of course, coordination, et cetera, between each other. But this allows you to inspire co-leaders, and then they can be inspired and go do things that you know is in the right direction and is aligned with your goals. So creating space is to hold that space and hold that safety bubble, if you will, for those people you lead. The next slightly more intervention would be protecting boundaries. This means that when your people say no to something or say something will be difficult, you back them up. When your people are supposed to be the ones making certain choices and decisions, you, rather than choose for them when things get hard, you back them up in their own choices, and you show them that, help them to make their own choices. You protect the boundaries of their work so that they can take ownership of that work. Slightly more intervention might be to make connections. In other words, if somebody on your team comes to you and says, this other team is not responding to us and they're not giving us what they need, instead of you taking that as something that you're going to go do and solve, you connect that person to the other team or that other individual or that other leader and say, hey, Leader Joan, this is Steve. He's part of my team. He has an issue that he would like to work out with you. So you create that connection instead of taking over the work or taking over that follow-up. Slightly more intervention is to invite. This might mean you invite your people to take on that work. In other words, using my little example that I just came up with, you might say to the person, they may not be ready or willing or feel safe to go immediately talk to Joan, but you can invite them, say, hey, would you like to come with me to have a discussion with Joan? They're the person that we need to talk to solve this problem. Would you come with me and participate in that? Create invitations to participate instead of be bystanders. And then even more intervention, sometimes you might need to initiate the discussion. You might have to go talk to Joan. You might have to start the process or start doing the thing that you want them to do. You may have to get it started. You might have to set up the conditions or set up the place for that to start and get it started, and then say, okay, Joe, now you take over and you do this. Okay. That allows them to step into that area, something that's already set up. And the last that's more hands-on intervention is to co-participate. In other words, you're using the invite and all that stuff, but you're actually saying, hey, Joe, let's do this together. Let's start writing that document. Maybe we can sit down together for 15 minutes and get it started, get it going. Here's maybe what the first sentence could say, or here's what I would tell Joan, or I went and talked to Joan, you're co-participating, but I talked to Joan and Joan would like to talk directly with you, right? So this is a kind of a co-participation. So these are things that you do as a catalyst or a steward to from least intervention to most intervention, to pull people up out of the laborer or the agent mindset that they might be in, maybe not for any fault of yours, but for some past situations that they've learned that that's how they need to behave. And you're trying to create a new environment. Remember Lewin's equation? You're trying to work on that E so that the P, the person, can produce different behaviors that take them to higher self-organization and higher power. So this was the practical kind of wrap up of this here. I'd love to have any questions that you have, or if you want to explore certain specific situations, if you have a certain situation with certain people that you would like to say, well, how could I be a steward, or how could I be a catalyst, or how are they behaving? Are they being like a laborer? Do I need to step down and supervise, etc.? Let's have that conversation and talk about it so that you can know how to apply not just these thinking concepts, but then practically apply them. Thanks for your time.